some other shit. Yes, OSOS. Yes, I'm on some other shit. Yes, I'm on some other shit.
What up, what up, what up? Hey, this on some other shit. It's your boy Joe Prophet, my girl Monet Banks. Hey, we're giving you opinions back with facts. Straight like that. And let's get to it. Let's go, man. Hey, we got a special one for y'all today, man. Hey, you see, we got got special guests. Monet, tell them who we got today with us.
Okay, all right, guys. Just kidding. Got some new heavy equipment, so I'm like, let me figure out how I...
We just figure out how to use this shit.
Exactly. All right, so okay, we always know some other shit, so y'all got to be flexible. We appreciate y'all for being here. Okay, now for the real introduction.
Oh, shit.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
We have on the show today, standing at 6'4", the heaviest, hardest right-handed hitter, DaVarryl Touch of Sleep Williamson. Y'all welcome him to the OSOS Podcast.
Welcome in. So, I would hit the round of applause button, but we just got it, so I ain't really just configured it like that yet.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness. So thank you so much, guys. This is Who Gonna Catch These Hands Too.
Y'all know.
So we are gonna be tapping in with Mr. Williamson, talking about his journey. Also, we have Mike A back again for Who Gonna Catch These Hands Too. He ready to talk some shit, so I hope y'all ready to get into it as well.
All right.
Okay, so I would like to get started just with kind of tapping in and letting our audience know actually who this legend is. This is a living legend that we have on the show today. So Mr. Williamson, thank you for being on the show. How are you feeling today?
Man.
I'm feeling great. I'm coming off a really good week. It's Saturday. On Tuesday, it's been a really good week for me. I'm still floating. I'm still riding high. Being inducted into the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. I'm like the third boxer behind Jack Dempsey, Corky Gonzalez, and now Touch of Sleep, DaVarryl Williamson. Will be in the 2022 class of the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. So I'm just emotional this week. So thank you for having me on the show. I couldn't be happier to be here to talk about boxing in my life.
Shout, first of all, so whenever you got the news that you were being inducted, I mean, like, what was going through your mind? How are you feeling?
I was kicking and screaming. You know that they're having a meeting, who's going to make the decision. So I attended the fight last weekend with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder fight in Las Vegas. So that kept me busy during the weekend. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'm kind of occupied, not thinking about it. They're going to make the decision on Tuesday morning. And Tuesday, I don't know, maybe before noon, I get a phone call from the head guy, Mr. Tom, from the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, congratulating me for being a part of the 2022 class. And I couldn't be happier. There are three boxers. They've had the committee since 1965. Wow. And three boxers, Jack Dempsey, Corky Gonzalez, and now DaVarryl Williamson. So I'm just overwhelmed with joy and happiness to be in that class.
That is...
Nah, that shit, that's off the chain. I ain't gonna lie. So I'm in awe just listening to you talk about it. I know you spoke about being at the Fury and Wilder fight last week. What kind of experience was that? Just being there live and in person, and then I guess kind of tell me your thoughts on the fight as well.
It was electrifying because I felt like I had good seats, and so the people in the neighborhood, they're all fight buffs, they're all fight guys, women and men. So we all kind of like getting into high fives during certain fights, and then of course the big show come in, and Tyson Fury, he's nice delayed entry. He's funny, he's charismatic. He's a good boxer. Deontay Wilder, he's sharp. He's sharp, getting some knife. It was good to be in the thick of things, seeing people that I fought before, seeing people who were in the game. It was electrifying to be in that audience again. So I really enjoyed my time in Las Vegas last weekend. Just going down memory lane a little bit, seeing some of the commissioners or some of the people who with the red jackets on, who worked my corner, who did this, who did that, who told me this. It was a nice walk down memory lane.
Yeah, so just kind of being the best of the best, I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions just about your career and some of the greatest fights that you've been a part of, some of the best that you've actually had a chance to actually fight up against. What would you say was one of the toughest fights that you ever had to endure?
I would say there's a guy, his name is Antoine Chazelle. We were both 8-1 at the time we fought. We fought in Washington Heights in New York City. And I thought he kicked my ass the first round. And I didn't know who he was. He was a big brother, like 250 pounds. He had, I don't know if it was dreads, plaits, or braids, but they're all mixed up. And I'm like looking at my coach after the first round, like, who is this guy?
Yeah.
He's hitting with a nice, he's about my height, 6'3", 6'4", but he was like 250. I was maybe like 212. And
He's like, super heavyweight.
When you did so much as an amateur, you kind of know who's who in every state, Florida, New York, Chicago, whatever. You kind of know the best of the best. However, I didn't know this guy. I hadn't heard of him, but we had the same record. And as I said, that he kicked my ass the first round. Then going to my corner, my coach was giving me water. And he was laughing because he said, "I know you're gonna fight now.
You're gonna wake up now.
I know you're gonna fight now." But then second round, I stepped it up and was able to get him out of there. And after the fight, I remember seeing him back in not the locker room, but in the area. And I just shook his hand and said, "Man, you ain't had no problem with them stopping. You don't think they stopped the fight too soon?" He said, "No, I ain't had no problem with it. I was out." So I kind of want to, when I get done boxing a guy and they stop the fight with a knockout, I kind of want to his affirmation that says, "Man, I was out. I was gone." Not that he has to like bitch up, but just say, "Hey, you had me," or "There was a good stoppage," or because some people still protest or complain where they stopped it too early. Nah, I'm asking the guy who I fought, they stopped it too early. He said, "Absolutely not. I was gone." So Antoine Chazelle, of course, one of my Oliver McCall, of course, Chris Bird, of course.
That's what I was going. That's what I thought you were going to say first. The Chris Bird fight.
Yeah, Chris Bird, but Chris Bird and I are friends. It doesn't really matter. You're gonna fight your friends harder. Right. You're gonna fight your friends harder because you got so much relationship to talk about it years later. Yeah, friends come. So
I was actually going to ask you. So, has there ever been like a real beef where you was like, you know what, I'm not like him. Like what's up? Like, let's get in. Like, you were looking for him whenever you got into the ring, or was there anybody who you were just like, you know what, I genuinely am ready to fight this person?
I would say Dirk Jefferson. Dirk Jefferson from Michigan, from Detroit, Michigan. Primarily, I like him, but primarily he beat me in 1994 in the Olympic Festival as an amateur in St. Louis, Missouri. Then I had a chance to fight him again in, I think, 2004, 2005 in Madison Square Garden. So he beat me as an amateur. I beat him as a pro. I knocked him out in the second round, and that was a huge win for me because we had some words, but at the end of it, we still hug and embrace each other and say, "Hey, that was a good fight," and we with respect. But it's just sometimes the fight is already made. There's no reason to like push each other or shove each other, but things like that happen, and you have to be mentally strong and say, "Hey, my goal is to concentrate on this fight, not to worry about the press conference, all that stuff." The fight's already made. We've already got the money, signed the contract. So whether you win or draw, you're gonna get the same amount of money. What I'm saying, hey, in boxing, it's just like it's not like a typical government job. Like once you get done with the year, and you go back and you have a meeting with your head, the division heads, and they'll give you maybe a 3 or 4% increase. With boxing, when you win a fight, it's like a 300% increase. If I made $25,000 this fight, my next fight should be somewhere in the $75,000. If I win that fight at 75,000, my next fight should be somewhere in maybe the 150 to 200,000. So you're fighting for the job you want, not necessarily the job you have. Does that make sense?
It does. It does. And
So
I'm, just thinking about overall just optics and how everything really looks, I was just like wondering, was that genuinely like that, like that beef? But okay, so first of all, Touch of Sleep is a good ass nickname, right? I want to talk about how you actually got that nickname. And then I also want to ask, what are some of the best sports nicknames, right? So like, some of the nicknames that we know. So I want to ask you first. Obviously, you would probably say Touch of Sleep is one of the best nicknames, but you were actually on a top 100 list on Bleacher Report. We saw it was like top 100 best sports nicknames, and DaVarryl Touch of Sleep Williamson was actually one of the names on that list.
You got your rank number 10.
Thank you.
Right. So I wanted to go into how like the origin story of Touch of Sleep, and then I wanted to actually ask the guys what is one of the best sports nicknames that they know.
My big brother, his name is Lawrence Clay from Hartford, Connecticut. We were in the World Championships in Berlin in 1995, the World Championships, and I was calling myself DJ. My name is DaVarryl Jerome, so DJ can stand for Dangerous Jab, but also can stand for DaVarryl Jerome. But he was like, nah, white, let's get another name. Let's get another name. Call yourself the Touch of Sleep because of him and I sparring so many rounds. He said, man, you can kind of knock a guy out with your left hand or your right hand. So in April of 1995, I have embraced the name of Touch of Sleep, and I have been living with it ever since. My gym name is Touch of Sleep. Certain things I've named Touch of Sleep. It's been a pleasure. I can't take credit for it. Lawrence Clay Bay gave me that name. He said that name couldn't be more befitting for you. So I'm so grateful for him and grateful for him coming up with that name for me.
That's a very powerful name.
Right. Just a touch, you ain't putting them all the way. Just a touch of sleep. Just a look. Just
You don't gotta hit you fully, hit you
Just a tip, a tap.
So what are some of the best sports nicknames that y'all know, or we like? Dog, that was a good name. That's a good sports name.
Thank you.
The Mamba. Okay.
Kobe, RP to Kobe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The good.
Earl, the truth, Spence. I like the truth.
Who's it called the truth?
As long as you can live it up to the truth. You're not the truth. and
Paul
you have that
Pierce
name.
is the truth.
Yeah, Paul Pierce is the truth.
I like my boy Dylan White, the body snatcher.
Body snatcher.
Oh,
very
so
good.
I saw the body snatcher, right?
Somebody
And
else had it in
Mike,
84.
Mike
Yeah.
McCallum was also the body snatcher as well. I thought that was a good nickname.
Yeah.
The big unit,
Big
because
unit,
it's
yeah.
baseball
Randy
right
Johnson.
now. Randy Johnson
Yeah.
is the big unit.
I like the new Lakers 360 thing that they got going.
What is
I
that?
heard about that
It's
one.
like I think LeBron's number 6, right?
Yeah.
AD's number 3.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
Oh,
okay,
number
okay,
zero.
okay.
Okay.
See,
60.
I like Reggie, Mr. October.
oh,
Yeah,
see,
Reggie
that's a
Jackson.
good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, Reggie Jackson. Not like I don't know, maybe too many people might not be familiar with this name, but David Benavidez, El Bandito Rojas. I just love how that sounds. Red
El
Bandit.
Bendito.
Red Bandit. You know what I mean? Shout out to him. Man.
Marvelous Marvin
Of
Hagler,
course.
of course.
Bronze Bomber.
Come on.
Bronze Bomber.
Yep.
Squad.
I like that one. I like that one.
Of course, the greatest, Muhammad Ali, the greatest. So,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The Louisville Lip.
Exactly.
Lived up to the name.
Whatever you
Lived
want
up
to
to
call it.
everything.
Exactly.
you're right, because you're saying, you should be able to live up to that name that you get, your moniker or whatever you go by. It's nice that if you're a body snatcher, then I'm hoping that you do a lot of work to the body. If
That's
you're
sure.
one hitter quitter, you one hit should
That right and that left. Yeah.
Touch of Sleep, you didn't seen a lot of bodies sleep.
Yeah. No, for real though. Hey, DaVarryl, like, so out of all your fights, the Touch of Sleep moniker and all that, what do you, in your opinion, what would you say was your
When you were like,
best
I'm
or
the touch of
most-
sleep.
or
Like,
your most devastating knockout?
yeah.
Who was it? Who was the guy?
Your most devastating knockout.
It's a couple of them. It was a couple of them.
He like, it's a few of them.
Because, like you catch a guy named Roger KO. He's got crazy hair, and I do like a basketball move. I do a look away and go to 1-2. He's out. Of course, Derek Jefferson again. You have Andre Kovalev, big Russian guy that I was able to hit. It's just a number. What is the guy? Harold Scanias. Just a number over and over again as an amateur or as a pro. Even Klitschko, you know what I mean, knocking him down.
I know that feels good.
So,
I know it feels good.
I mean, to be out there in Caesar's Palace, the main event, there's 20,000 people outside in Las Vegas on October 3rd, October 2nd. Man, it was beautiful because your heart is pumping. You got a big old man here, and you standing in public piss, in the corner like, man, my God, I gotta fight this big giant. I mean, I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, my nerves. But his nerves is going too. So the mental part is like, hey. He had a bloody nose because his nerves was so bad, and he kind of stopped it right as the fight started. But he was nervous, so I'm like, "Oh yeah, he good. He's just like me, so we good." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
let's get it on.
Yeah, let's get it on.
Okay, so while we're on the topic of touch of sleep, I wanted to get into some actual boxing talk. Right, I wanted to get to start up the boxing conversation. So sleeper division, sleeper fighters. Who would y'all say, and I'll start with you, Mike A.
You feel me?
Sleeper division or a sleeper fighter, where you were like, you know what, people not really talking about him, but we should be on the lookout for him, or her.
Sleeper fighter
or division.
There's a few
and or
either one that you feel like you want to discuss more, or you have more insight.
Well, sleeper fighter, I would say. I mean, it's a couple prospects, but they're prospects. So I wouldn't want to, if you put their name out there, they'll be like, yeah, but they're coming up like what's his name? Colbert.
Oh, okay. Chris Colbert.
Colbert.
Yeah. Okay. Chris Colbert.
Shakur Stevenson is very slept on because his style. They think that he's boring or whatever, but he's very slept on his style. Devin Haney is really slept on.
Yeah.
I don't know why they don't respect David Haney. And I feel like they don't respect Teofimo Lopez beating Lomachenko. Like,
right.
I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves.
Yeah, for beating all the greatest clearly of all time. The ESPN was trying to make him.
Yeah, and that 135 division is very slept on. And 130, 135 is very slept on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very slept on division.
What would you say?
I mean, I'm in agreement. Like, I got 130, as the slept on division, just because of some of the names that are in there. Shakur, like you mentioned, Jamel Herring, Miguel Burchell, Chris Colbert. Oscar Valdez, names like that. It's a for people that like, they love boxing, that's a very competitive division. It's very, to the common fan might not be, knowledgeable about, especially because of those fighters. And like like you mentioned, they're up and coming. Slept on fighter.
Castaño.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I
like Castaño.
I like Brian Castaño. I think he is slept on, really, because ESPN has him ranked number one.
He's my guy.
Twins, man.
Oh yeah. It's A-League, man. You see where we at. You see where we at.
Lions only, baby. We'll get that
Jamel, he definitely they definitely got to run that back. That was a hell of a fight, for Undisputed.
He's not gonna fight it running back.
Is he really slept on?
I mean, how many people really,
is he really slept on?
People aren't looking for Castaño. They aren't looking for Castaño.
I mean,
that's why he would be my person.
Not to talk about that division, but 154 is not as what it used to be. It's just,
a lot of fighters moved up.
Yeah.
What do you say, DaVarryl? Who do you think?
I like Teofimo. I think that he's a good champion. I think that he beat the best. I like his energy. I like his passion. Sure. I mean, he's like a blue collar worker. He's gonna go to work. He puts his lunch. His hard hat on. He put his lunchbox down. He goes to work the whole time. His energy is great. I like him. Of course, he beat one of Lomachenko, beating him, like put him in a boost. But he just like no big deal. I'm
next.
Right.
I'm not doing. I mean, in terms of him, his energy and doing backflips and all the kind of stuff, the energy, he just exuberating so much positivity, and that if you were a kid or a young man or woman and wanted to do this sport, I mean, he gives you faith, he gives you belief that you can get it done, and he's done it the hard way, and I couldn't be more proud and happy for him and his family, his team, of how they conducted themselves and how he has like made a move from the dark horse to now world champion.
Yeah.
They spoke it to existence.
For sure. Years ago, they thought they was crazy. His dad, they thought his dad was like, "Hey, shut up, you loud talking dude."
When Loma fought Jorge Linares, he told Loma, like, "I'm the next."
Yeah, he's up.
Yeah.
And I think that's powerful too, to have, not even just your trainer believing in you like that, but your dad, your parent, you know what I mean? To have
having
that kind
strong
of faith
support system.
Yeah, I think those are always, I'm not gonna say more successful, but it's just always a greater bond.
Yeah, when it's
when it's a father
and a son
for
sure
relationship.
Like, and sometimes as a family member, you're guilty of loving your kid, loving your son, and sometimes it's not the best situation.
That's true too.
But sometimes there's no family relation or origin, but the coach feels like that's his son or his little brother, and it's
Tank Davis situation.
Calvin and Tank
Calvin
Davis,
and Tank.
exactly.
It was interesting how Floyd Mayweather told Tank, "Hey man, I don't know how he got the buzz or the word, maybe because he's Floyd, but he got the nod that he's not doing well in his fight." And 4 or 5 months ago, Floyd came to the corner like, "Hey, you told me to keep it real. I'm keeping it real. You lose. You gotta step it up." And then he stepped it up. But he wasn't. There's no family origin relationship. But it's just a friend, coach, manager, or whatever Floyd is to him. He got him fired up, and that's what you need. You need somebody that's gonna move you and not tell you sit there and blow smoke up your butt. I mean, you want real. Like when you get in the elevator and go back to your hotel room, your friend should be able to tell you, man, yeah, you lost that. They gave you a gift for.
He was your ass.
You could get that out earlier. I mean, like I got dear friends, Andre and Dwight back in DC. They would say, like we get in the elevator. They was like, "Nah, man, you could have got them out a lot earlier, or you look good, or just tell you the truth. I need to hear the truth. I mean, and I need people around me who's gonna sit there and tell me the truth." In my whole life, so I've been very, very fortunate. It seems painful at times, but it's very, very fortunate when you really are having success, because you need someone that doesn't really worry about you. Remember, you were 13 years old on the parking lot, or not the parking lot, on the basketball court, just doing stuff, and people want to be real, and you need that, and especially in this boxing business, you want to be real to your guy or to your girl, because the female fighters, just tell them the truth. Tell me the truth. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So I want y'all to tell me the truth. Stevenson versus Herring coming up on the 23rd. Who do you guys have?
Shakur, 8-4 decision. Yeah.
Decision?
Yeah, decision. Unanimous decision.
Okay.
8 rounds to 4. That's what I'm giving here.
Oh, you taking Jamil?
No, I'm taking Shakur.
Okay, Shakur.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Jamil Herring.
He said, "Let's shake it up."
I'm doing my homework on both of them. They both southpaws. Of course, Shakur Stevens has a good right hook. He has a good left hand, but a good right hook to the body that takes your mind off his left hand just for a second. I think Jamil Herring, I think that from his military, from his having to grow up and mature, I think that he won't be caught up in the moment. I think he'll find a way to get through this. And also, he's had 1 or 2 losses already. So I think that right there is going to help him in this particular fight. He's going to be so thankful for those losses, early in his career, that it's going to some of those losses are done to him. It's going to help him overcome in his fight against Shakur Stevens this particular time.
I think Shakur already went through that when I'm not gonna say he got robbed, but you know, a lot of the boxing world fellas, he got robbed of the gold medal.
in the
And
Olympics.
that's hit him very, very hard in his whole life. So I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder, like, and he wants to be destined for greatness. He was like LeBron. You know how LeBron, they gave him all this hype and all this next Jordan, the next. So he has like some big shoes to fill in a sense, because they used to always compare him to Floyd.
Yeah, that's why Floyd came to see.
And you know, he's been in there with Terrence Crawford. He's been in there with you know, all the greats and all the best as he was a kid. And it's like, I feel like it's Shakur's time. You know, Herring is a good fighter. You know, he's 35. You know, so it's like, you know, he probably has a couple more years left. But you know, Shakur is.
Will that experience be what wields him to success?
It could, you know. I mean,
I think so. I mean,
it could. Like I got Shakur winning. You know. But then I wouldn't be surprised if Herring upsets him, because I know Herring, he's just like who we spoke about earlier, Teofimo, bringing his lunchbox to the ring. That's what he does. Like, he's a Marine, you know what I mean?
He's a workhorse.
The attitude he's coming with. He's a workhorse. He's not a show horse at all. So, you know, and I like these two styles together too. You know what I mean? This matchup is gonna be very entertaining. Like, I don't know. You know, I got Shakur winning by decision, but I would not be surprised if Herring pulls an upset. Like,
I think they're mirrors. They both southpaws. One is older, and one is younger. I think that Shakur has the same situation with Roy Jones. Roy Jones Jr. losing the Olympics and getting the silver medal, you know, some 20-some years ago, and that Shakur had to overcome as well. And don't get me wrong, I think the young man is talented as can be. I'm just, because I'm older, I'm kind of rooting for the older guy.
No doubt. No doubt.
I mean, like, I started boxing. I turned my professional career 25 days before my 32nd birthday. 25 days before I turned pro. 25 days before my 32nd birthday. I mean, look at me now.
Hey,
I know
you
that's
got
right.
a lot of fights in for 32.
Yeah, 27 and 8,
fights.
23 knockouts.
How many times a year were you fighting?
No, he was putting them fights up.
It's so hard to get fights. So I was saying, yes, I want to fight. Every other month, I want to fight. But most heavyweights are looking for that soft guy. Because I had such a decorated amateur career, I was saying yes. Don King said, man, you don't say no to nobody. I didn't say no. I said yes to the fight. Then how much money am I getting? Yes,
all the smoke.
All of it.
Yes to the fight. Then how much money I'm going to get? And by the way, how much are we getting for this fight? Can we do a little more? Okay, we can do a little more. We can do the 50. You know what I mean? When you said, 25, now we can do the 50. Okay, do the 50. Okay, we good. Like, I'm in it because I want to be in it. Not like I got to make every possible down. So many people who were not as talented as I was were getting more money. I was getting $2,500 or $3,000 for a 4-rounder when somebody else was getting like $7,500. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. But again, you can't worry about what the next man is getting.
Right.
Worry about what you're doing. That's it. Your level of what you're doing. It's just everybody's always looking out the window at what somebody else has got.
Keep your eyes on your own paper.
Yeah.
And what happens is that you just keep fighting. You look up every other month, you're fighting. That's what you want. And so, if I want to give some young guy or young girl who's watching and want to become a boxer, don't worry about the money part. Worry about the talent, the sport itself, the craft. Get better in the craft. The money will come. It will come. You know what I mean?
Correct.
But you gotta stay on task. Task is win fights and get busy and stay active. You know. So.
Yes. I mean, it's clearly it's about activity, right?
Yeah.
So I have been waiting to talk about this. I've been waiting to talk about this with you specifically because, all right, so Porter versus Crawford is coming up.
Oh, yes.
This is a huge fight.
Oh, yeah.
This is supposed to be the ultimate test for Crawford. Crawford has been
ultimate is a big word, but okay. keep carrying.
Ultimate test. You're right. Keep going.
Thank you.
sorry.
This is
I
the
love
ultimate test for Crawford.
Okay.
So I just want to know, and for you, DaVarryl, I know that you kind of had some reference to people kind of doubting your opponents and basing that off of, your fighting style and things like that. So, people look at Crawford and they're like, he hasn't really fought anybody. And they look at his resume and think that Porter's going to be a huge test. So the question is Crawford going to beat Porter?
Yeah,
I think going to beat Porter.
I think that Crawford's going to beat Porter, but I don't think he's going to walk through the park with him. Porter is a workhorse. Okay, he's a workhorse. You're talking about packing your lunch. I mean, and your hard hat. He's going to work. I think Bud Crawford is the best fighter ever in the history of Nebraska, Iowa, all the Midwest country, Minnesota. He's the best. I mean, no doubt about it. He's all of it. But I think that he has to work. He has to work for this workforce. I think he'll win the fight, but it won't be easy. He's going to have to pack his lunch and stay in there and do pull off some things out of his bag that we hadn't seen before to get past Porter.
Right?
Yeah, I'm listening. I'm listening for your analysis, Nick.
Because Joe here, we've been going back about this fight before it was even made.
For sure.
Because I used to always say, like, if he wanted to be the best, why didn't he go to the PBC? Right. I understand Bob had a nice little situation for him, nice little contract for him, but Bob Arum, your promoter, has came out and talked about you and said that he can't make no money off you. He couldn't do this. He couldn't do that. I truly feel like Terrence Crawford, if he would have been at PBC, that side, everything he wanted would have been there. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of the opponents he fought, let's not kid ourselves. They, Amir Khan, Kell Brook, the Machine, the Benavidez brother with one leg. It's compared to Thurman, Danny Garcia, Sean Porter. Their resumes, they have fought everybody. They have fought the Guerreros, they have fought the Ortizes, the Bertos, the Kell Brooks. They fought each other. Yeah. All of them. Earl Spence, too, included. So I just feel like, Sean Porter is going to be a big test for Terrence Crawford. He's going to have to pull out a lot of things. And this is a fight where you can't just say clearly he's going to run through the other guy.
No.
Like Sean Porter like he is a
Showtime.
Big, solid welterweight.
Yeah.
And
160.
You can never count him out. He always he knows how to stalk you. He knows how to put pressure on you without even touching you.
Yeah.
So it's like
that's nice.
All right.
So I believe like this is what we've been waiting for. Yeah. And I believe it will not be nothing easy. Far from easy.
For sure. My turn.
Your turn.
Okay. I mean, I agree with exactly, with both of you guys saying it's gonna be a tough fight.
He's like,
it's gonna be a tough fight for him. You know what I'm saying? Only for a little while.
What's a little while? A little while. 4 rounds.
One thing about Bud.
How does one define a little while?
You said what's
a little while?
I say
inside 8.
Nah, I say about the 9th.
Okay.
That's not a little round. Wow, that's the whole fight.
I mean, it's 12 rounds, right?
Yeah.
Okay, 9. I mean,
that's
a little while.
He's not confident.
That's a little. But honestly, I've been saying it, and I'm gonna say it again right here on the show. Okay. Y'all not gonna agree with it. Y'all might, but I said Terrence Crawford will stop Sean Porter.
Wow.
It will be a stop.
Wow.
It will be a stop.
And I'm ready to bet.
I know he's ready. He's ready.
I'm ready to.
Wow.
I'm ready.
Don't bet the house.
Don't
build the house on that.
I'm ready to put my house. I'm ready to put my mama house in Nigeria too. I'm ready to put everybody's house on that.
You just got to think about it, bro. Listen, and just understand where I'm coming from. All right, Terrence Crawford at 147, in my opinion, maybe not a lot of other people's opinion, he's very dangerous at 147. This guy has not gone 12 rounds with anybody at 147. When he breaks the opponent down at 147, once he breaks him down, in my opinion, Terrence Bud Crawford is the best finisher in boxing. Once he gets you hurt,
best finisher.
Whoa. Best finisher.
Whoa. So before
closing the deal.
Bomber and Tyson Fury, before he lost, what was he?
Yeah.
He's a better finisher than Tank. He's a better finisher than Canelo.
No, I said once he
You said he's the best finisher in boxing.
I did.
Whoa.
I did.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah.
So he's the best finisher than all those guys. He's the best finisher than Lomachenko. When Lomachenko breaks you down and has you,
I believe he's a better finisher.
he's the best finisher than Tank. He's a better finisher than Bronze Bomber.
Tank and Bronze Bomber. Okay, they
and the breakdown
just
thing that
because
you're
of the
talking
40,
about, look at his
41.
opposition. If Danny Garcia, Thurman, Earl Spencer, Sean Porter fight those guys, we're not going to talk about 2012 Kell Brooks, Sean Porter. We understand that situation. But
Right.
if you're talking about all the other opponents,
Okay.
those PBC guys are stopping them inside 8 rounds.
No.
Seriously.
No.
Amir Khan, Danny Garcia, you saw what happened.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah.
saw that.
Like, what are we
But
talking
I don't
about
think
here? Sean Porter
think.
versus Amir Khan. Sean Porter would get him
But what
up
about
out of here.
Mean Machine? I don't think.
Mean Machine dropped Terrence Crawford. They
He
called it a
did.
slip.
They did.
They called it a
Facts.
slip.
And but
You
guess
see
what he
I'm
did?
saying?
Guess what?
They called it.
He
a
got him
slip.
out of there though. Once he figured out that mean shit, he got him out of
So
there.
now he has an opponent where you can actually say all those things you're saying. Like
Yeah.
he's the best at this, he's the best
Okay.
at that. You can't say he's the best welterweight. All these guys have fought each
I
other.
didn't say he was the best welterweight yet.
Oh, well, what are you saying? He
I
was?
mean, right now it's got to be Earl Spence until they fight, and then he
Until
proves
they
it.
fight,
Yeah,
okay.
because
So let's get into
Earl's
the
holding the weight,
rankings.
But I thought
Let's
Terrence
get
Crawford
in.
was your pound for pound. So
he,
if he's not the best welterweight, so somebody's a pound your pound for pound favorite. How is he not the best welterweight to you?
because isn't it my personal opinion of who I want? You
So
know what I'm saying?
he's your
It's my
pound for
personal
pound, but
opinion.
he's not the best welterweight.
I mean, no. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm not.
So ESPN
I can say he's the best
rankings.
welterweight, but ESPN got him
Right.
ranked number 2.
So ESPN has
Okay.
Spence ranked number 1, Crawford.
Hold on. Pound for pound or welterweight?
Welterweight.
Okay,
Welterweight.
okay.
Yeah, pound for pound is Canelo number 1.
Yeah,
Ugas is number
4.
4,
Okay.
Right.
and then
Rightfully so.
Porter is number 5. So those are the top 5 welterweights.
Okay.
So I mean, Spence versus Crawford, you still think that Spence should be number 1
Yeah. I mean,
in the welterweight?
yeah. How
okay.
they got a line up right? Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm just
That makes-
asking.
until they fight,
Yeah.
and then we see who number 1 is.
Since you guys in Texas, how is
Yeah.
Spence's health? You know, that's a terrible car accident. I mean, like 28, 29, 30 years old. I mean, can you come back from that? I mean, we saw him fight
Man,
the Garcia.
He did, though. Like, he fought Danny magnificently.
And Danny's
Danny's
come back from a
dangerous
car
as hell.
accident.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it really?
Danny's not
He's
dangerous.
the Ivan Redcat. Ask him.
Danny's not dangerous.
Ask Ivan Redcat.
Yeah, Danny has lost on that stage 3 or 4 times that same opportunity. You know what I mean? It's hard to say. You know what I mean? It's hard to really give him. It's a good safe fight for him to come back with, to stay active. You know what I mean? It's
I
good to safe fight for him to come back and stay active. But is that really a test?
That's what I'm saying. But
I feel
then
like
he
it
was supposed to
was.
fight Pacquiao,
Okay,
But
yeah.
he- but I
and
don't
he had
even
to
think-
withdraw from that fight due to
There
his
you go.
running.
I don't even think Pacquiao
So-
was going to be a
I
test.
mean, I got to see him. I seen he has like a.
You don't think Pacquiao was going to be a test?
No, not
Yes. Yes.
What?
Earl Spence.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
You said
What?
You said
Yes.
Pacquiao was not going to
Pac-Man is the man.
I'm talking about.
See, this is what I'm saying. Like,
Why
you
would
said,
Pacquiao
Not-
not be a test for Earl
Wait a
Spence?
minute.
who?
He's-
Wait a
Name
minute.
one person that fights like Manny Pacquiao.
Nobody in the world.
So
Nobody in
why
the
would that
But
not
But
be
I'm,
a test?
but I'm saying, listen. I'm
Wait a
saying
minute.
Earl Spence versus Manny Pacquiao. I just really think.
You're looking at the size.
I mean, he would have used it. I think he would have used it.
Margarito.
For sure, one of the big, but Margarita don't fight like Spence though. It's not this
Big.
He's big as shit, but he
huge.
don't have the skill set Spence has. He don't know how to keep.
Spence is not as fast as Pacquiao.
So Ugas versus Earl Spence.
Spence will win that.
Spence,
Spence will win that.
right? And look how Ugas did Pacquiao.
But Ugas is not I feel like
And look how he did Sean Porter.
I feel like Ugas had a controversy loss with
Against
Sean Porter.
Yeah, for
Ugas,
sure.
those Cubans are bad
They're rough.
motherfuckers.
They're
man.
rough.
They
They're rough.
can fight.
They're
They
rough.
Can fight.
Right.
They're rough.
I mean, they're born professionals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, real talk. Real
As
talk.
an amateur, I've been in the
Baseball
amateur
and
game,
boxing.
and
Like,
we always, had so much respect for the Cuban fighters. Whether it was Felix Sabon, whether it was Bajado, whether it was,
Rigo
the Cuban had over and over and over. They stay on top of the game.
That's why them heavyweights still scared of Luis Ortiz.
for sure, at
telling you.
42.
He could be 50 years old. They
Yeah.
still be scared.
I mean, top heavyweight rank is Fury, Usyk, Wilder, Joshua, Ruiz. Those are top 5, and then Dylan White and Parker.
Man, they got Dylan White
Underneath Ruiz.
What?
Under Ruiz.
Wow.
Because he beat Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Like Anthony Joshua.
Anthony Joshua's not like that.
Like,
Obviously,
I'm
he's
sorry,
struggling
Anthony
right
Joshua,
now.
Like, I don't know, like,
Wow.
I just don't get how you fight somebody so small. Well, you a heavyweight. Why did he try to box an elite boxer like that? Why?
Yeah.
Why did
And
he
shrink down
Why
to
did
him?
he do the
I don't
big
know.
head?
He never turned on. He never put it in the second and third gear. I was watching him fight in its entirety because I'm watching a smaller guy as a southpaw, and he wouldn't throw that right hand straight down the pipe, save his life. I don't know why. It's just like
You slimmed up for the fight. You slimmed up for the fight.
So much.
It's like you were telling the world almost that, yeah, I want to be on some speedy stuff with him. Why?
Right.
Why?
And it wasn't even
Did you
speedy.
see Usyk's face
Yeah, when he touched him,
Usyk had like Harry Potter. Like he had big,
crazy knots.
Yeah, and big slashes with big knots on top of it. So I'm like, why didn't you just go ahead, take that little and give it to him and really put him down?
Yeah.
Punch with him. Every time he punch with him. Punch on his arm, his shoulder, his neck, his head, his elbow. Something's gonna hurt. Just say, hey,
do whatever.
whatever.
I'm gonna spend the first 6 rounds punching with him because he's not gonna be the same guy in 7, 8, 9, 10 rounds.
Ain't no way he was gonna have that speed the second half of the fight. He was punching his arms and punching him. Like I was like, what is he doing? Like Anthony Joshua steady, like, and he's letting Usyk hit him first. And then I'm like,
trading blows.
Why are you even going low? Like I just don't like what he's doing. I just don't like what he's doing. I don't like what he's doing. I don't like what he was doing.
Crazy, man.
I don't like what he's doing.
He was trying to figure it out. He was trying to figure it out.
Looked like a setup.
He waited it out, and he, now he's back in the. He's back in the.
So what do you want to be 3-time world champion?
Yeah.
Then you're gonna lose again, 4-time world champion. What is this?
Crazy.
Where is the road to undisputed?
I mean, Usyk is. I mean, he's the top dog. He's the top dog.
He's all right. He's all right. He's all right.
Yeah, he's all right as a boxer. No, I feel him though, because for the heavyweights, he should not be doing that.
Ain't no boxing matches like
that. To an elite Olympian heavyweight boxer at that, he should not be doing that. You should know. Yeah. Like you should know. Like I feel like Dylan White. I feel like
they leaning on him.
A lot of different fighters would have really like put that weight on him, cut the ring off on him. And y'all in there fighting like y'all welterweights, like y'all little guys.
Not for real.
Like Eddie Joshua almost got stopped.
I know. Yeah.
Like, oh my God, he was
he wobbled him with that straight. I was like, whoa, he's going down.
And I'm on Nigeria, so I was just looking at it like, you're Nigerian, man. Come on, man. Where that fufu at?
Yeah.
Where that fufu at?
Where that fight at, bro?
Where that fight at?
He didn't have it in him. I mean, okay, so we just talked about pound for pound, right? Canelo, number 1 pound for pound.
Of course.
Pound for pound.
It's not going anywhere.
He's getting ready to fight our guy, Mr. Plant, for undisputed. So currently Plant has the IBF belt. Canelo's trying to claim all 4. Is Canelo beatable? I don't want to talk about who's going to win, but the question is Canelo beatable? Like, does Plant have what it takes, or is Canelo beatable, period?
Yes, I think if Andre Ward come out of retirement, I think he's beatable.
SOT.
Okay.
SOT.
Andre Ward comes out of retirement, he got him. But right now, some of the jokers is in front of him. I like Canelo. Canelo did a good job by fighting Floyd so early in his career. He grew so much. He learned so much. I think that, you say, hey, this, like if you have kids and you say, hey, I'm gonna spank you. This is hurting me more than it's gonna hurt you. This is what I mean. Like I think that experience from Floyd beating him, he took that experience and he's grown so much from that. I mean, he's profited so much from that experience. Now, but I think it'll take someone like Andre Ward to come out of retirement to fight Canelo. Otherwise, I think Canelo stays champion.
You need somebody that's good at everything.
Right.
Like you need somebody that can do everything, that can be that's strong, that's quick, that's very and their IQ has to be up there, because his IQ, like you talking about breakdown, like you saw what he was doing to Callum Smith's arm.
Yeah.
Like come on, like he's smart. Like he sees where a weakness is at, and he's gonna attack it. He's gonna attack it.
Hey, let me ask y'all something though. You and DaVarryl, like, what is it about these Brits that they just so susceptible to they just, I can't even say the damn word right. They just weak to the bodies. Their bodies are weak.
Sometimes they
eat beans for breakfast.
I'll give you an example. If I'm fighting a guy and the guy looks a little bit chubby, okay, I'm a little bit more nervous than the guy who looks like he's a bodybuilder. And sometimes the Brits come in looking so good that, oh man, he can't fight that well. His body looks good. As a boxer, your shoulders should be rolling here. You should always sometimes I would eat my cereal like watching TV. I'm serious. I'm eating my cereal like this. And everything I do, I'm walking in the house and I go down the steps and I stop and go pop pop pop. Can I do a 3-punch combination? Like you may think I'm crazy, but I'm invested into
in it.
I'm invested in crab. You know what I mean? Like you eat, sleep, and drink this boxing stuff all day long because you want to win. You want to be successful. I don't know what the Brits are doing in terms of their workout. I think they look at maybe what the body looks like rather than what's inside here. I mean, I am always nervous about fighting a guy who's a bigger guy, like 250, 60 pounds, because I don't know what's underneath that. He may be truly a light heavyweight and has reflex as a light heavyweight. You know, now when a guy is muscle bound, I want them. Wait, sign him up. Sign him up. I'm a little bit nervous about the guys who are a little bit overweight because I don't know what's under there. I don't know what's in there. Yeah. So if you got a guy, a muscle bound guy, we want him.
Andre Ward always says that all the muscles get tired and during the fight and all that. You know, like the dudes that come in like David Haye and Anthony Joshua.
Oh, what was my guy, Babyface? Remember? Kowalski? The Polish.
Oh yeah. Oh, bad body. Kowalski.
He just lost twice to that.
He lost twice. Helenus is a bad boy though.
Yeah, he is.
He out there Kronk Gym. Helenus. He was with Sugar Hill now.
I like Sanchez too. Flash.
And see, that's how Ruiz looked at first. The first time Ruiz fought Anthony Joshua, like he had body, like he was little
and then the second
heavy.
fight, he actually just boxed circles around him.
Right.
Should have did it the first time.
For sure.
I mean, continuing to talk about heavyweights. Okay, so you were at the Fury versus Wilder fight, so I want to kind of do a little recap of that fight. Because if you don't really know boxing and all you did was see the highlights, you would assume that Fury never got knocked down. Like he dominated the fight when really Fury got knocked down a couple of times and it wasn't as sweet as people making it seem.
No, it wasn't because Deontay Wilder had a perfect game plan. His coach Malik Scott had a perfect game plan for him. The first round, he looked good. I was like, oh my God. You mean, he
can jab. Shit.
He was making an investment to the body. The same punch he threw him a hard right hand to the head, he was landing him into the body. Okay. But then he went away. Second round, third round, fourth round. What happened in the first round?
I was throwing so many. I feel like he didn't need to throw so many in the first round. Like he could have won those rounds because Tyson was looking like, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing here? This is new. But he just kept going.
If he makes,
I was like, why you're gonna get yourself tired? Because this man does not run.
Yeah,
he said in many interviews, I use the water. He does not run. The traditional cardio.
If Deontay Wilder does what he does in the first round, he does in the second, third round. When he finally gets those knockdowns, that man is almost 300 pounds. It's hard to get up. It's hard to get up.
For real.
Like down. Maybe he gets up and he does a little wobble. And then all we need is a little wobble, and they're gonna stop the fight. You know what I mean? But you got to make that investment to the body for those, first 4 or 5 rounds. Not first round, first 4 or 5 rounds. Then when you finally get that knockdown in the 6th or 7th round, he stays down. He doesn't. He gets up and he falls down again, and they stop the fight. No one's gonna complain. No one's gonna protest it because he fell down twice. Exactly. You know what I mean? And maybe it wasn't a shot. It was just the body shots that he made that investment earlier. It really paid off for him. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But you know what though, DaVarryl, like Tyson Fury got one of them bodies that you scared of though. It just don't, you know what I mean? You don't know what's down there.
Exactly. Well, I gotta take a chance. You know what I mean? I've already signed up. I gotta take a chance. I gotta take a chance to see what's down there.
He's already signed up.
Then you fought him 3 times. I gotta take a chance. I gotta do something different.
I'm different.
Doing the same thing over and over.
I just hate his defense. I hate the way he even blocks and covers up. It's like always like Tyson Fury can hit
anything,
swing that little weird little left hook anytime he wants to, just smack him across the face anytime he wants to. I just felt like when I heard him say that he doesn't run. Like even Luis Ortiz, I remember seeing that he runs 5 miles as a heavyweight, big guy like that. And like you was coming in sometimes 218, this, and you don't run.
That
It's like
doesn't
look
make
at his
sense.
legs, and you see how
Skinny.
his legs will like buckle
Brittle,
when he
yeah.
hit. It's like I feel like that is a big key is the cardio. I think that's
Again, that's huge. I've had 4 or 5 professional fights without any sparring. All I gotta do is run and hit the heavy bag, and that's what that's kind of what it is. You have to run. Okay, for Deontay Wilder, the one fight, he's saying, "Hey, I wore the vest for 50 pounds," right? Then what's the difference between gaining 50 pounds and put on a vest for 50 pounds?
Yeah.
What's the difference? I would have stayed at 212, 216 and just boxed this guy's ass off. You mean like I would have never gained that kind of weight because he's like a power forward for the NBA, like a Stacey Augman, got a body like that. He should be dunking on somebody in the pint. But I'm saying, hey, as a boxer, sometimes you got to believe in what you do. With Mike Tyson, he believed in what he was doing. He believed in it. You got to believe in what you're doing. Like, you can't let all these people in your ear say, hey, I'm going to wait to my last fight and gain 25 pounds of muscle. For what? Yeah. You still knocking the same guys out at 211, 216.
Yeah, because he was talking about I'm bench pressing. I'm bench pressing 350. That was pretty good. Bodybuilding does not mean boxing. Everybody knows them combat sports. Those guys be lean, cut up. Bruce
don't
Lee.
even touch weights. Really.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
don't even touch your weights. It's
Like,
all body exercise.
I don't think I've ever weighed. I mean, I started boxing. I think my first. I had to like put a whole bunch of nickels in my pocket to weigh 203. That was like 205. I was like, woo! Gaining weight was a chore for me. Like I think my most I've ever weighed was like 222, 223, and my highest fight. I'm like, okay.
Were you heavier when you played football? When you were actually playing football?
No, I was about the same. I've been the same my whole life. I mean, I've been pretty much the same my whole life. I mean, I feel that in high school I was 185, 190, and then post college 205. I mean, and you stayed in that weight class, and just did your thing. And you were successful at 205 as you were at 185, and just you're at peace with yourself inside. Say, hey, I don't need to gain weight. I don't need to get any more. I mean, you want to get stronger, but you don't have to gain any more muscle mass, to be successful. I had that one hit quitter, so. That one hit quitter.
Let touch of sleep.
That's the old school thing.
No one in the world is gonna run in and say, "Hey, I'm gonna take a chance." I mean, because it knocks so many people out or knocks so many people down. You say, "Okay, I'm gonna pump my brakes. Now I'm gonna try to outbox this guy or do whatever I can do, to win the fight."
Exactly.
Yes. So I want to ask the question about now that Pacquiao's retired.
Hang on. Is it official?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it is.
It is.
He's going for presidency.
He's going for president.
He's going to focus on his candidacy and he's going to be done with boxing.
It's so funny because I think I was on a call with Manny Pacquiao, and you know how you can see what people are making on the card because you got to sign this thing for your check. I think Manny Pacquiao made like $12,500. I'm like, man, he went from $12,500 to $12 million. I'm like, oh, damn. I was with Manny Pacquiao probably 20 years ago, and his purse was $12,500. I mean, $12,500. That's $12 million. But to watch him go that man is so. I mean, he's so good for his country. He's so good for his people. You can't make everybody happy.
Right.
I like him singing in the band.
He be hooping. He don't even own a team over there.
Standing outside his house, like on certain days where
just waiting for the money.
Yeah.
Just waiting for the money drop.
They definitely love him. But him saying,
not to, though.
Yeah, he's always been a very pleasant person overall.
Yeah, man.
He doesn't really.
Even in the pressers and the. He don't never say nothing. The only person I ever heard him say something bad about was Floyd, and it ain't even really
it
bad.
Wasn't even that bad.
Yeah, it's just like a little shot, a little jab. Maybe Floyd can show him how to fight 12 rounds or something like this. Still humble joke.
I have a question. Okay, I have a question. I would like to fight again. Is there anybody out there who would fight DaVarryl Williamson again? Was anybody out there like a Mike Tyson, a Roy Jones?
Mike might do it though.
What would you do? An exhibition or would you do a whole?
exhibition like they know, like the
Exhibition,
Hall of
yeah.
Famers.
I didn't
the,
like that Holyfield.
The legends.
Yeah, no, that was
I ain't
bad.
like that. Victor Belfort, you're gonna get on the ropes like, I just beat Holyfield. You beat a 57. Well,
Yeah, Holyfield damn near 60 years.
I mean, but he getting out there. He look good.
Holyfield look good.
His body look good.
No, he didn't. No,
It
he
did.
Did you hear every
Y'all
time?
some haters.
No, do you hear every time? Like, this is serious how they talk to Holyfield. A lot of you can't let this sport retire you.
Yeah.
You know, when they be talking to Holyfield, it's sometimes it's like, you know, he's kind of slow with his speeches. He's kind of slow how he speaks back, like, oh yeah, this. Like, he's kind of like, and it's
Reaction.
like, yeah, and it's like, you should not be fighting, dude.
Wow.
You should not be fighting. You should not be fighting, man. Like,
You know,
I know he needs the money. He got a lot of kids, but that's why, man.
Again, I agree with you. So what I said earlier in the conversation there, you got to have people around you who's going to tell you the truth. You have to have friends, you know, your wife, your best friends, your buddies you grew up with at 12, 13, 14 years old. Right. You want those guys in your ear and, you know, saying, hey, man, I want to fight again. First thing I want to fight again, I'm going straight to the doctor to find out my health. I want to know what my kidneys look like, my heart looks like, my liver. I want to know what my brain looks like. And like, what makes sense for me to go do this? Why in God's name would I get back in the ring and take that kind of risk? You know, my kids, you know, I don't have any grandkids, you know, knock on wood. I mean, so, I mean, like, what do I need to do to get back in the ring? Like, I know that I'm healthy. I know I'm fine, and you know, and I'm ready to go. But what does that really look like? And you have to have people around you say, nah, champ, we good, or you know, you ain't talking right, or you walking with a little limp.
I mean, DaVarryl versus Roy Jones.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think Roy wants that. I mean, Roy.
And Roy, you know,
he barely wanted Mike Tyson.
He barely wanted that. Right, he was looking tired.
We want Klitschko. We want a rematch with Klitschko. It's unfinished business.
Hey.
There was a split technical decision. What does that mean? I don't even speak English. I mean, like,
what is that?
Hey, did you fight? You fought both of them, or you just fought Vitaly?
No. Let me tell you. I boxed both brothers. I boxed Vitaly Klitschko in Austria. In a boxing in a training camp. He went 5 rounds with me and quit. Okay, and he said that he hurt his back. And then I boxed his brother in Las Vegas, Vladimir Klitschko, and he quit after 5 rounds. I'm like, you know, people ask me in the book, then I mean, say, well, which one's better? I don't know. I need more time with both of them. I need more time. So,
straight up.
Like Klitschko, you heard it right
here.
Right,
exactly. You heard it here. All right, now we looking for you. We looking for you.
I want Vladimir. He's gonna come back.
Man, they all about
Vladimir will make me.
They're gonna be wanting that money.
That's bad.
They're gonna want
Vladimir. Me and Vladimir for rematch 2 in October. Let's do it in this October coming up. You know what I mean?
October 2022.
Yes.
Going down.
Yeah.
Y'all start training now. Oh goodness.
But the heavyweight division is back though. That's one thing that I am happy about.
I do like it.
And one thing I'm gonna give Wilder his flowers because I remember watching Wilder coming up and knocking these dudes out, and not too many people were talking about him. Right. And it wasn't really too many people in the heavyweight division before anybody knew about Anthony Joshua or anything. So Wilder was the one that really brought that flair, that brought that spark. How he was like one champion, road to undisputed, one name, and he got all the other everybody, you know. Like, okay, man, I can take this dude. He has one arm. I can take this dude. He has one arm. And then Tyson Fury, I give him his flowers because what he did to Klitschko. Yeah. Because he's dethroned two champions. Yeah. Because Wilder had like the most defenses out of all of them.
And Klitschko,
you know what I'm saying? And Klitschko was undefeated for like what, a decade?
Yeah, 10 years.
So I'll give him his flowers. Like they really, both of those guys really brought back the heavyweight division. Facts. Both of them. Like, and everybody knows, like, before anybody was into like lightweights and super lightweights and welterweights, they were into heavyweight boxing. Sure. Mike Tyson, your family, popcorn, everybody's watching the Mike Tyson show. Sure. Even if you paid that $80, $70, $100 just to watch him knock out somebody in one round, you wasn't tripping.
You wasn't tripping.
And you was tripping, but you wasn't tripping. You was like, damn. I mean, because heavyweight is just one. Lights out. Every time I go wash my hands, something real quick, boom, he just knocked him off there.
Right. You missed the whole fight.
I was watching the John Bot and the Sanchez fight. Sanchez was boxing
a bad dude.
He was boxing smart and stuff like that. I put my head down one time, drop. I'm like, damn, look at drop on the floor.
Man.
Like, Like this is heavyweight boxing. I love heavyweight boxing.
The FA defense always been kind of suspect though. That one, you know what I mean? Like we went to that
but a lot of people wouldn't fight him
for sure.
Sanchez, and that Reynoso camp, man. They just
those
brothers got head movement.
They nice.
They got head movement. Canelo,
nice.
Oscar. You saw the way Oscar knocked out Check. Like they got head movement. Them brothers got head movement.
He helped Valdez out a lot. Valdez didn't have that movement before he came to that camp.
I don't think so.
Valdez was getting his jaw broken in fights. Warrior fights.
Yeah.
But Wilder's a warrior, man.
Yeah.
He is a different type of warrior, man. He gave the world and gave anybody fighting anything. I don't care if it's boxing, sports, whatever. He give you a different type of motivation, man. Like, damn, he is a warrior. He fought 6-7 rounds, no legs. God damn.
Yeah.
Hey, man, at the end of the day, okay, you got to do what you got to do. So not my final question, but kind of summing up a question for you, DaVarryl. What has been the greatest, I guess, the most profound, greatest lesson that you've learned from boxing that you like, you know what, this is a life lesson. And you've kind of taken that with you from boxing.
I think that lesson would be just treat people like you've always want to be treated. I was my father was a thug guy. He was a penitentiary guy, and before I went off to school, out of high school, going from Washington D.C. to Minnesota, Rochester, Minnesota, he said, "Man, just see people for people." And so I have always took that in my heart and always treated my classmates, my football team, my basketball team, my boxing friends, everybody, just treat people the way you want to be treated. And I think that has helped me in life, you in a couple Hall of Fames, with the Golden Gloves Hall of Fame, you in College Sports Hall of Fame, you were the best athlete or the most popular in high school. You were, every college I went to, I'm on their wall of fame. It's just,
it's dope. All the accolades. I'm just like, damn.
No, look at even in the background.
Yeah,
like,
I've been paying attention to that.
You know what I mean? Just humbly, okay, yeah. Give us a little tour. Give us a little tour then. Hey,
there we go.
Shout out.
Right up, man. World-class athlete, man.
You know what I mean? It's cool, and that's me and the Dirk Jefferson fight at Madison Square Garden up top here, and I think it's sexy. I mean,
you feel me?
And he sounds and he looks like the sport didn't retire him.
For real.
I really appreciate that, guys, because sometimes you're in the sport and it's tough. It's a tough way to make a living, and you want to know, am I okay? Am I speaking correctly, or am I, maybe I didn't speak the correctly to begin with, coming from Washington D.C. We talk broken English or whatever, but it's nice to be able to go to school and to be able to
tell the story. So it's like it's a beautiful thing, man.
It came together, man. And I'm so blessed and so grateful for it. Yeah. Like I said, that like when the guy, the head of the Tom, the head of the guy of the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, called me and told me that I'm a part of the class. I'm pretty much practically fell out of my chair, but trying to gather myself to like it's emotional. You know what I mean? Can you? We're back, baby.
Oh, sorry,
all right, we're back. Meanwhile, back at the ranch.
We needed some assistance over there. Thank you for the backup.
Shout out to OSOS.
Yes. Okay. So we were talking about your greatest life lessons, and if you wanted to just pick it up from there, when he was just saying, treating people how you want to be treated.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and
real.
Focusing on that and continuing to add that onto his journey throughout boxing.
I mean,
yes, and that's exactly what my dad, Willie Williamson, and God rest his soul. I'll tell you another story that was kind of emotional while I'm speaking on him, is that when I got the phone call that I've been inducted to the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame, was the same day that my dad died in my arms back in 2002, October 12th in Washington, D.C., because he had cancer of the liver. And it was so emotional day because my sister reminded me. My sister Demi had reminded me. She called me and said, "Hey, today is Pa's death 19 years ago." And then I get that news from her, and I get the same good news from the committee, from the Hall of Fame committee, and it was just like you up and down, but it was emotional because my dad died in my arms, and then I'm getting inducted to the Colorado Sports Hall of Fame. That's with John Elway, with Champ Bailey, with
I saw the list.
quarterback Peyton Manning.
Aiden made it.
Yeah, Peyton Manning, like all these people in Colorado sports have done so many different things.
That is legendary, dog.
I mean, like to be here.
He won
He's
Super
a
Bowl.
legend, man.
They only had 3 boxers in it. Jack Dempsey, Corey Gonzalez, and then DaVarryl Williamson. I'm quite sure that there's probably more that probably should have been in it, but I'm happy I'm in it, and maybe I can advocate for other boxers, other referees, and judges to be a part of it as well as it goes on. But I'm so glad to be in it. I'm going to represent as well.
That's a major accomplishment.
For sure.
Yeah, I mean, being in the Hall of Fame is big time. That means you definitely put that work in over the course of your career.
I agree with you. When you were a high school student or college guy, say, well, was he all conference? Was he all regional? Was he all world? And then at the end, was he a Hall of Famer? I mean, like, man, he's not. And some people know they're not going to be that way. And I don't know. I'm blessed. I'm sincerely happy, blessed. Like sometimes in this crazy world, the person who deserves the promotion, deserves the raise or on the job doesn't necessarily get it. And I feel so good because the person who deserved the notoriety, the promotion, he got it. He got it. It was the right person. And so sometimes I'm shaking people's hands.
Got it right.
Congratulations. I'm also saying, hey, man, do you think it was the right thing? They said, absolutely. Absolutely. I went to an amateur boxing show yesterday, and just kind of like in the audience, and I got to sit ringside, and I'm just sitting there talking to some guys here, and just enjoying the fight. It was cool because I'm looking at the guys like, hey, man, do you think I deserve to be in it? He said, man, you are our best ambassador to the sport, and that feels good that when another person tells you, that you belong here. Like, I'm glad you got in that. You deserve it. You want everything. You've done everything. You give back to so many people, so many kids. Kind of like what my father was saying, before he went away, man. Just see people for people. See people for people. And everybody's different or same, whatever. But just treat people like the way you want to be treated. And I have taken that piece of advice, and I've lived my entire life with that in mind.
That's incredible strength in and out in the ring and also outside of it. Losing a parent is definitely not something that's easy, and being able to continue to press forward and also understand the level of recognition that you received at that same time is that's amazing.
And you have to, because my wife and I we have a conversation about this, because I would tell her that my grandmother died, my grandfather died, my mother died, my father died, and not necessarily my sister died. It's not like if I'm not ready to jump in that casket with them, I gotta figure out how I'm gonna live on. So I'm not being cold-hearted. I'm just like, hey, I gotta figure out what they would be proud of if I continue to go, and I gotta live. I gotta live for me and our kids and our family, and I want to leave a legacy for my team. I mean, as they did for their family, for us. So you have to keep working hard. You have to keep turning corners. And I'm so grateful to be healthy and still be able to do that today.
I have so this is a little bit outside of boxing that I wanted to kind of ask this question. So currently the NBA season is getting ready to start. Kyrie Irving is refusing to play, or basically the Brooklyn Nets have told him that you're not going to be able to play until you're vaccinated. That's the New York State rules. Basically, he has to be vaccinated for all home games. So Kyrie has decided that he is going to not play until they've either changed the rules or for some reason allow him to play. So my thing is, should he take the $200 million, or should he continue to wait it out and focus on himself because he doesn't want to be vaccinated? That's a violation to his code of ethics, basically.
Kyrie Irving, you kind of gotta live and let live. Like that's his. Listen to Kevin Durant speak about that's his choice. I mean, if he's okay with his bank account being withdrawal of those funds, then he's okay. I mean, I'm happy because I'm happy with my skin. Remember we talked about earlier about because I made $2,500, $3,000. Some other guy was making $7,000 for that same fight, that same quality opponent. You got to be happy within yourself, within your own system. Again, I got the shot. I got 2 shots. Why did I get 2 shots? For my own self, because there's an elderly person that lives with me. My wife's uncle lives with us, or because I'm in the gym every day. There's so many different people I interact with. So those are my reasons for getting the shot or 2 shots. I can't speak for the next person. You do what you do for your reason. You do your reason. Mm-hmm. I don't know what Kyrie is going through. I know that, I'm quite sure that he has his reason, and I respect it because he's not like saying everybody do this, everybody do that. He's not take a shot. That's what he's doing. That's his life.
His situation, his choice.
Yeah, that's it. He said, "That's my choice." Not I'm not telling the whole world or my whole team, to not take a shot. This is what I'm doing. Kind of Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne said, "That's my cup. What's in my cup?"
What's in my cup is in my cup.
Exactly.
My cup. I'm not giving my cup to my kids or to you. This is my cup. This is my body. My body is a temple. I'm going to treat it that way. I mean, I'm saying, hey, for me, I'm 53 years old, so I've got the shot on my arm, the steel scar. You have all kind of measles, tetanus, all kinds of shots that we've come through. Maybe a young person doesn't see it the same way. I want to live, so sign me up. So what I did was
because we did get vaccinations when we were little.
But that wasn't our.
We all got them. We have no say so about them. Check it out. If you want to go to school, you get vaccinated. Well, I'm going to get vaccinated because your parents going to send you to school. I'm laughing because I got the shot, but what I did was I didn't go to the hood to get it. I didn't go to the hood to get it. I went to the upscale clinic, upscale doctor. I mean, hey, over here.
I mean, with Kyrie,
I'm going all the people.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I'm with the upscale hospital and and got it.
Kind of things in life.
Yeah. With Kyrie, my thing is this. I feel like it's a lot of the things that he did before. That's why they're so hard on him about this.
Okay.
The world is flat thing.
How the earth is flat. That was weird. But I'm saying how he just won't show up for games, and then he'll be like, I had a family birthday or something to go to, and basically be on some. I had that to go to. It's my business or something. He had a whole bunch of things leading up to this, so people just look at this as another thing, another attention thing. What is going on? How he went to Boston and ruined that team, kind of. Then he apologized to LeBron because it's but you tried to make it seem like it was LeBron was the fault. You know what I mean? So it's a bunch of diva stuff that we get from you already. So when we see this vaccination thing, we're like, a lot of people don't take him seriously. They're like, bro, it's just another attention thing. What you know what I'm saying? And he is right. He's not telling nobody
what to do,
or not to do it.
His own thing.
But the thing is, brother, you're trying to push this Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I get it. The oppression, people lost jobs from this and all this, but you need money to fight the war that you want to fight.
Right.
Okay.
You need money. So it's you just speaking and doing this, and sooner or later, this platform will be gone from you, and everybody will just hear Kyrie Irving this, Kyrie Irving that. If
they'll hear all the negative, they won't see the
to help the WNBA players like he did. You need money to do that. So I feel like it's not a shut up and dribble thing, but it's if LeBron James has took this, and I'm not saying they all should follow LeBron James, but let's not say LeBron James is like say NBA. It's LeBron James.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like why wouldn't you?
Right.
Why
go against the grain?
Like, why, you know,
what is it?
Like
what is it that is Kyrie that makes him want to go against the grain?
Yeah. Right.
Because you did it.
Maybe it's alter ego. It's alter ego, Uncle Drew.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Uncle Drew don't want to take that back.
Nobody understood it. Why'd you want to leave LeBron in the first place? Nobody understood it. And then you end up apologizing about it.
Right.
See, it's
that's
like,
weird.
What are you going through?
Yeah,
ego. Like, I wanted to be at a birthday or something, so I didn't go to the game. Like, what? You're employee under this. You know what's going on. It's bigger than you.
Yeah.
It's bigger than you.
Yeah.
You know, it's bigger than you. So it's really a tough decision. I'm not telling somebody how to make a decision, but it's bigger than you.
Yeah.
Especially when you have so many people watching you and so many people looking up to you and so many kids looking to you. I mean, I think he's a good dude. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's a hell of a basketball player. Mm-hmm. You know, you just don't know, what's going on in the mental part, man. You know, like in order to be a good musician, you got to be a little bit touched. You mean like to be like, how can Prince create play so many instruments and so much music? Like, he had to be a little different. Michael Jackson had to be a little bit different. I mean, like to be such a good basketball player and ball handler. I mean, like, he probably can like eat breakfast and still dribble the ball behind his back and between his legs. I mean, he's talented. So he's a little bit different, a little bit off, or just a little bit different. He listens to a beat of a different drummer. You know, he's talented.
Right.
He's really talented.
Yeah, he's one of the best ever. I was a fan of Kyrie. I just don't like seeing all like this. It's always something with you. Yeah. I'm not even just talking about this vaccination. It's always something, bro. Like it's always something. Like it's always.
You know what? We all four of us, we grew up with people like that. We grew up with people maybe not as talented as Kyrie Irving, but
with that same attitude.
Every time we in the lunch line, this guy want to go this way. We going, well, I'm gonna go the wrong way. I'm going back. Are you kidding me? Every time. I mean, like sometimes
it's hard with you.
Right.
You go out to eat with somebody, right?
When you're around.
You go out there and have dinner, and they send their steak back every time. I'm like, man, I'm done eating with this guy.
Every time we go to 100 different steakhouses, every time you send a steak back. Hey, stop getting medium rare then.
I'm telling you, it's you.
Every time nothing's ever good enough. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, what kind of life did you live? You mean, we are, the four of us are all grateful that the shortcomings have come. We're grateful for the good and the bad. The good and the bad. So we can appreciate and enjoy the good when it happens. But also when the bad comes, like, hey, okay, cool. That's why I gotta do this more. That's why I gotta do that more. So those days won't happen as frequently as they appear. But we're grateful for it. You mean? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
God the glory for life every day, man.
Yes.
Be much worse, man. For real.
Yes.
For real.
That's so true.
Man, hey, DaVarryl, Mike A, aka Chili, man. We definitely appreciate y'all's presence on the show today. Appreciate everything y'all brought to this show, the knowledge, experience, everything like that. Just want to thank y'all before we get up out of here. But
having me, thank you for allowing me to be on your show. I really appreciate this. I mean, I've been looking forward all week. I mean, like once you got the news from the Hall of Fame committee, that was best of the best. But knowing that I'm going to be on your show and I have a voice to share, just good old fashioned boxing, what's going on through my mind and you. Anytime somebody want to hear what you have to say, it's priceless. So I thank my respect to all three of you guys for sharing your day and your time with me, and I'm hoping that you appreciate my time as well.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. Hey, this on some other shit. It's your boy Joe Prophet, my girl Monet Banks. I mean, we're giving you opinions back with facts, straight like that. That's our show for today, man. We'll catch y'all next week. Y'all know where we at, man.
Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell, guys. We appreciate
and make
y'all.
sure Thursday, October 21st, y'all come out to the May pop-up
Oh, yeah.
shop.
Go give it to him,
You know,
man.
May
Go
pop-up
ahead, give 'em
shop,
to him,
you
Chile.
Y'all see it.
May pop-up shop.
Y'all see it.
Clothing line is going down, man. Thursday, October 21st, Houston, Texas, man. You know, May Lifestyle.
And you see I'm rocking.
You know,
Y'all see
shout
I'm
out to the
rocking it,
Judicial Company,
Yeah,
man. Long live my brother, Hellcat Marley, man, for real. Long live my brother, man. He's from
That's
A-Leaf. He was A-Leaf legend, man. Long live him, man, for real.
Feel me? That's where it's at, man. We at, man. We see y'all next week.